Hi, welcome to Ask the Ornithologist. I'm Bob Mulvihill, ornithologist for the National Aviary. And you've been writing in with your questions that you'd like answered, and I'm going to try to do that right now.
Why do robins walk quickly, then stop and remain motionless?
Robins are foraging for mostly worms in the grass, and to do that, they need to stop and actually look for the little bit of movement as the worms are coming to the surface to put their castings up on the surface. Worms do this as part of their lifestyle, and robins are very good at spotting the tiny movements of worms doing this behavior. So when a robin is stopped, and it might look like its head is tilted down as though it's listening for something, it's actually looking very closely at the ground for movement of a worm.
Mourning doves perch motionless, on wires for example, for so long appearing to be doing nothing.
The reason that mourning doves sit still for a long time is because they're processing the contents of their last meal. Mourning doves are seed eaters, and they eat a lot of grain, and they fill their crop, which is that muscular organ that's part of their digestive tract, they fill it with seeds, and it takes a very long time for the crop to grind the seeds down and get them moving through the digestive tract. Because a mourning dove can sit at one seed source and fill up in a short time, it then has to spend a long time digesting that meal before it wants to fly down and take another meal. Other birds, if you think about it, tend to get one bug or one fruit or one seed at a time. They have to expend some energy to process that food, and they have to fly back to where they got it. So they're burning energy as they go, and they're not getting one single giant meal that they have to then digest.
What can I do to encourage mourning doves to come around?
Mourning doves need two things as part of their habitat that they occupy. And one of those things is an evergreen tree, some kind of a densely needled spruce tree, for example, and food that they can find on the ground, on the open ground. So if you have a spruce tree, you've got one ingredient. The next ingredient is to provide seeds. Millet and cracked corn are best right on the ground in an open area near the bird feeders. The mourning doves will find that, and they'll take up residence in your yard.
How can I encourage birds to visit my new bird baths and feeders?
If you've never had a bird bath or feeders in your yard before, so that the birds aren't used to coming there to look for those things, then it may take a little while before the first birds notice that they have food and water available to them. But they will notice it, and there isn't a whole lot you can do to speed up that process. The one thing that I might do would be to make a noise that attracts the attention of birds, and it's called pishing. And when you make this noise, it tends to bring any birds that are within hearing over to you.
Can you go ahead and demonstrate that?
Let me try it right now. Whether or not you see the birds, I just saw oh, yep, bird just came in that house. So they come into that sound because it sounds like another bird is scolding something. It's the sound a bird might make if a snake or other predator were sneaking up close to their nest. And birds sort of have an agreement that they work together to try to drive predators away. So if you just go out near your new bird bath, near your new feeders, make this little pishing noise, and it's just by saying psh, 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 and just vary the pace and the loudness, you just might see birds might come and see the bird bath, see the feeders, and come to use them a little more quickly.
How often should we switch the nectar in our hummingbird feeders?
You want to switch the nectar pretty often, say every 3 days at the most. But right now, as we're waiting for the hummingbirds to return, I recommend that you put just a small amount of the sugar water solution in your feeder and change it every 2 days until the hummingbirds are using it, and then every 2 or 3 days after that throughout the summer.
Which birds are typically the first to arrive back in our area in the spring, and why?
The first birds that arrive back are the ones that have migrated relatively short distances south. This includes birds like the chipping sparrow, the eastern towhee, and the house wren, for example. These are birds that mostly winter within the continental United States, and so they respond quickly to the first wave of springtime temperatures, and they kind of ride that wave north. So they're among the very first to appear. At the same time, there are species we've had all winter, like robin and dark-eyed junco and white-throated sparrow, whose numbers increase greatly fairly early in the spring season. So again, these are the birds that went a little farther south and they ride that wave of spring temperature north. And so you'll notice that there are many more of some of those species as well.
Is there a behavior specific to all those little brown birds, like sparrows, that can help me ID them quicker?
Honestly, probably not, because to identify those little brown birds, we sometimes call them LBJs, little brown jobs, you have to see the field marks on the bird. So you have to see if there are stripes on the head or spots on the breast. You have to see if the beak is a fat, short beak or a thin, long beak. So you really do have to see those markings in order to identify them. At this time of year, early spring, birds are starting to sing. And so if you see a little brown bird and it makes a vocalization, that can be really helpful for identifying the bird. One bird that is moving through right now, called the white-throated sparrow, has a song that you may have heard. It sounds like this. And if you translate it into words, some of the bird field guide authors say it sounds like old Sam Peabody, Peabody, Peabody. So listen for your birds. Listen to those little brown birds, as well as look at them closely for field marks, and you'll start to get to know them better. Thanks everyone for sending questions in to Ask the Ornithologist. Look again for more opportunities to contribute your questions. I look forward to answering them. And again, thanks for joining us on this breezy Thursday in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.